Yowie wowie, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to TLR, the Ludicrous Report. As always, your hosts, Joey and Issa. Issa, I always love you. But how you doing?
I love
How's
you
everything going?
too. I've been very sick for the last 2 days. I'm surprised that I made it to this. But I was like, I'm just going to sit and talk. And I was kind of sitting on the couch. I was like, I think I can transfer my remains from the sofa to my streaming chair to do this because I look forward to talking to you every week. And I just look forward to kind of like, uh, I don't know, discussing other topics. But of course, you already broke me by starting the show saying Jowie Wowie. It's been so tough. It's been so tough, the loss of Bray Wyatt on
Yeah,
me. I know it has been on YouTube, but it's been like something that I don't think I ever experienced. And I
yeah,
saw a couple of people bring up on social media the conversation about grieving for a celebrity or for somebody that you didn't necessarily know. And
yeah.
I'd be lying if I told you that I haven't Googled if it's normal the last like couple of days because I'm like, is that normal to feel that way? Like I even cried on stream, which I never ever do. I like to think I'm very in control of my emotions.
Yeah.
I couldn't watching that tribute on Friday. Like it completely broke me.
Yep.
So it's been a tough week. I don't know if that has added up to me getting sick. Like I don't even know if it's part of it, but I gotta tell you, I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, tribute shows before. Uh Death is, is a part of life, and we see it more so than we should. But this one, for some reason, I'm still trying to figure out why it hit like as if it was someone I knew.
I
Right?
yeah, I had
Like,
I was lucky enough to had an actual interaction with Bray, but nothing out of this
yeah.
world. But that is something that completely blew my mind when I was able to finally have an interaction with him. Because as you know, we are lucky enough that we're able to do media and do some things. But
Mhm.
when I went to WrestleMania last year in Dallas, he obviously wasn't doing anything media. He was doing WrestleCon appearance, and he was the one person I went to WrestleCon for, and I was like, I will pay this money out of pocket to meet Bray. And that's when I realized how much I really like. I always knew Bray was up there for me as far as favorite, especially as you know my love for horror films
Yeah.
and the way that he tried to bring that into wrestling. Like I always appreciated that, but um there's only a handful of people that I would say I'm going to spend this out of pocket money to have that one-on-one experience in meeting them. And
Yeah.
as soon as I saw he was on WrestleCon, I was like, I have to go. And I was able to meet him. And it was funny because I ran around. WrestleCon was huge in
Yeah.
Dallas, and I couldn't find the room that they had him set up. He wasn't there. So I thought I had missed him. And then I found him somewhere else. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I missed you. And this guy just like gave me a hug. He was like, no, I'm right here. And gave me a hug. And I'm like, oh my God, I already love him. And then we started talking about horror films because at this time it's when it was rumored that he was filming a horror film.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember reading the
Yeah.
reports. So I was like, listen, I love what you do. Like Bray's one of my favorites. And I was like, but I think you bringing your mind to the horror film would be absolutely incredible because horror is also depending on a lot of remakes. Now, like we went into
Yeah.
this in-depth conversation about horror films. I never met him before, and here we are. And he just took his time to talk to me. He didn't rush. He didn't do anything. We talked for a solid 10 minutes about horror movies. Then he takes a picture. If you look at the picture I posted on my Instagram, you can see
Yeah.
the background is like a random background because he wasn't even in his setup. I'm pretty sure he was done like for the day, and it was an incredible interaction. So I did get that interaction with him. But he's my mom's favorite wrestler, and I share with
Yeah.
you guys my mom is a huge wrestling fan to the point that when I got the news, she was the first person I went to so she wouldn't find out through socials because of what I do. She would expect me to be the one to break those news to her.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think as far as the grieving process of it, I feel like a lot of what I do and a lot of the things like reacting to wrestling, and if you tell me somebody that always gave me moments to react to, Bray Wyatt will be a name that will pop up immediately since I started doing reactions on YouTube. Bray
Yep.
Wyatt gave me so many moments that I remember having those moments. And you get, because you're a social media guy, you go, oh God, I got to post this reaction immediately. It's going to go viral. It's going to get numbers because this is what people want to see what you felt like when that moment happened. Bray gave us so many of those moments And I said this on my stream. I I choke up when I start thinking about the fact that we're never gonna get it again. Like I
Yeah.
watch all of these clips, I watch all of these things, and then when I go like, oh my god, we're not getting this entrance again. We're not getting anything from Bray again. That's when I really choke up about the whole thing. It's just
Yeah.
I put Bray in my top 10 of all time, my top 10 of all
Yeah.
time. As you know, I'm a newer fan, so it makes sense for my names to be
Yeah.
newer.
No,
But
he's in mine too, and I've been for ever.
and it's not because of what just happened. He's always been up there for me.
Yeah.
So this freaking sucks.
I feel like a big reason why, especially for you, and I'm not really going to speak for you, but I'll say for myself, a big reason why I feel like it was just so like much worse than others is because he wasn't a guy that we saw every week. He wasn't a character that we yearned for him every week. We wanted to see him every week wrestling on every pay-per-view like we've seen before with other guys. And he was a kind of wait and see character. He was not the type of character to be in any type of storyline. It had to make sense. So maybe we did see two storylines with him the entire year. You know what I mean? I can probably say throughout his 10-year career in WWE, I could probably name maybe 10 feuds, if that he had. And
I can name so many things that he did that I was a fan of. Like
everything
so
he did
many.
was meaningful. Everything he did was with
Yeah.
purpose, and it always left us like wanting more. Where we watch Monday Night Raw now, and I see so many people like myself too. We're like, all right, we're over this Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Judgment Day stuff. Give us new matches, give us new stuff. With Bray, we didn't get that overload. So it always left us wanting more. And I feel like we were expecting so much for when he was going to return.
And the
Hopefully
range.
soon.
And the range, right? Like when you think about some of
Yeah.
his serious stuff, and then like that anyone but you, Roman, the stuff that he did with Randy during the Wyatt family era and during the Fiends era, because I'm like, I know a lot of people, I hate it. Go back and watch my reaction. I hated that Randy beat him at that WrestleMania
Yeah.
when he came back as the
Made no
Fiend.
sense.
But the entire feud, like I'll never forget Randy RKOing a freaking Fiend on flames, which I know being in the Thunderdome really helped the visuals of that match.
Yep.
I personally like lost it when they were showing the tribute video and it went into the Firefly Funhouse, and I get choked up thinking about it.
Yeah.
I just love that. I'll never forget the first time that came on the screen, and I'm like, what am I watching? Why is Bray
I look
acting
forward
so
to it.
happy? And if you look at the first episode, there was no signs of the darkness.
No.
And there is a video of every episode of the Firefly Funhouse
saw.
until the Fiend
You
showed
posted
up.
it.
I have it. Yeah, I have it downloaded on my YouTube downloads because the progression and the character development, again, as a horror film fan, you start seeing all of these signs, all of these things that this is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt so new, so different, so
Fresh.
refreshing. And I love Eater Worlds. I even like this last version of him because Bray came out and spoke as Wyndham to us, which we had never seen before. He was always behind some kind of gimmick or character, but I will never forget Firefly Funhouse Fiend Bray. I think for me, that was my favorite. It was like in my time of watching wrestling, that is one time that I have felt like, what am I seeing and why have I never seen anything like this before?
Yeah.
In a show that never stops. It's on 52 weeks out of the year for as long as we have seen wrestling. To get that one thing that you go, I never seen anything like this before, it's genius. It's genius. So I have so much respect. I'm telling you, as soon as that tribute said, "Welcome to the Fireflies," I just started bawling, and I was like, "Well, I guess I found my Bray Wyatt weakness." And I had so many reactions to the Firefly Funhouse. I look forward to it every week. I was kind of mad when they stopped like doing episodes. I was mad when people got back there. Remember when Seth Rollins broke into the Firefly Funhouse? I was like, he's not supposed to know where it's at. Nobody's supposed to know where it's at. Like I wanted to be this fantasy place that nobody could get to but Bray, or the people that he let in. Anyways, it's just like I do think that there needs to be more conversations about grieving and how we deal with it and how this is normal, because you do have a handful of people that go like, why are you grieving for some wrestler, you know? And it's just like, it's not just that, it's the impact. I don't remember who tweeted it, and I wish I could, but somebody says, hey, that goes to reflect their art and how their art or this craft connected with you when you grieve somebody that you feel like you didn't know and you don't feel right, that you're crying over it. It's like, I don't know if it's right or not, but I'm having a really hard time, and it's like I almost to the point where I can't even watch the stuff because I get emotional. I'm like, some people say go watch some of his matches, some of his great moments, and I'm like, I can't even see pictures without crying right now. Like I don't think I'm ready for that trip down memory lane quite yet.
Joseph said in the chat that he helped Alexa explore more different sides of her character, obviously during the pandemic. And he did that with everybody. If you look at all his opponents, whether it was Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, these are all characters, The Miz, who were forced to bring a different side of them out during their time with The Fiend or Bray Wyatt or the Eater of Worlds. They were forced to deepen their character work because of him. He made everyone better. Opposed, the Hell in a Cell match with Seth, it's questionable still, but
but that's nothing.
We got a different version of Seth because of it.
Yeah, and that's nothing to
better.
do with them. They really don't make the decision over who goes over and how we're gonna end it. Like a lot of times people forget, it's like if you're an actor in Hollywood, you get given a script. The script could be crap, but your job is to act what that script says. You know, and I think that I personally wanted The Fiend when I first saw it to be going after people that wronged the old Bray. I thought that, like, forget titles. Like, find the people like John Cena, Roman Reigns, the people that Bray lost major feuds to, and have The Fiend avenge that. And that's the story that I wanted them to tell with The Fiend. But at the same time, WWE is a business, and a lot of times they see these titles as, hate to say it, but props. And at sometimes the prop has to go on the person that's the most over. The Fiend was selling merchandise like we never seen before. Like these mystery boxes, the Firefly Fun box that they did, like winning like 15 minutes. So I can see why somebody would get greedy and say, oh my God, we got to put him on top. We got to put the main championship on him. When I personally thought that The Fiend should have not been someone that we saw as often as we saw him. I thought Firefly Bray should have been there more and The Fiend more protected. And I also never thought that look at The Undertaker, how successful he was. He was barely ever involved in a world title picture. He didn't need it, But I'm not gonna sit here and talk about what could have been. Like, I smile because it happened. I do, but I'm selfish and I'm mad that I'm not gonna get it anymore. And I know we get a lot of our news for this show from TMC, but I was so upset to see that TMC report. I was like, I just didn't need to see this too soon. And I know this information was in the police report, but that police report, like, nobody's going out of their way to go read. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I didn't need all of this info thrown at me this soon after the incident, but they got to do what they got to do for their clicks.
Of course. But, I did see that Sean Ross Sapp reported that Tony Khan's going to be letting AEW talent miss the shows to go to be a part of his Bray's services and memorial. Whatever they're going to do, I hope that's all kept private. I don't think that should be out in the open, his funeral services and whatnot. But
and going to like our pop culture news, shout out to AEW. You posted a tweet today that I really love. I say, hey, we're no longer a niche. Wrestling is mainstream now, with a picture of Wembley, full of people and WrestleMania. I do think that wrestling is getting a lot more bigger than it feels like the old days. Like, more people are more familiar with it, more people want to talk about it with you, like, and it's crazy where we're at. And I bring that up because shout out to AEW. I don't know that I'm not gonna get into that. I don't know that 81,000 number is exactly accurate, but what they did was historic. It was a beautiful visual, greatly produced show, and all in. The better wrestling does, the better people like you and I do. So shout out to AEW.
Yep. And no matter the drama surrounding it, we will focus on the wrestling. That's the main thing. Not who's
what drama?
The wrestling that's done in the ring, not the choking that's done backstage. But no, I just but I know we've been going off about Bray, and as wrestling content creators, I think we're allowed to have that moment where we can kind of talk about him. But
Honestly, it was a slow news week when it came to pop culture. I was
yeah,
like struggling to find topics for this
yeah.
week.
Funny, not funny story, but I was getting ready to go out on Thursday night. I had plans with some friends, and you texted me, and that's how I found out about Bray. I didn't realize.
Oh, I thought you knew. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, no.
I found
And
out through a text myself. I was live on a. I
I
was a
figured I'd tell
guest.
you that because it was special. It was like you'll never like. It's one of those
Yeah,
things
you never
you'll never
forget.
forget that
Hmm.
moment. And I was like, what? Because you didn't
Yeah,
say much. You said something that was off, and I was like,
I
what?
think I said Bray with a broken heart. I'm assuming you
Yeah.
automatically went and looked up what it was.
I dropped everything I was doing, and I was just like, what's going on? And I still went out that night. I debated canceling my plan. I talked about this on the stream I did when I got
Hmm.
home that night. And it was very weird. And I had an experience with a fan that I met out, and it was the weirdest thing. I'll tell it quickly. But I was walking in the city. We're walking back like to a different part of the city, and I saw the his new with the his new logo on a shirt from like a mile away, and I was like, that's a Bray Wyatt shirt. And as we got closer, I said, that's a beautiful shirt, and the guy just like broke down crying, and we had like a moment where like we didn't know each other, but we understood like the meaning, the significance of it, and everyone's looking at us like, what is happening? They don't know each other, and we like embraced each other for a moment, and it was just like that's what Bray did. He had that
That
ability
is what he did.
to connect people to follow the buzzards. That's really what it was.
And I shared this on my stream as well. It's beautiful that you bring that up because you got to share a moment with a stranger over him. And what
Yeah.
I was telling people is like, I just told you I put him on my top 10, maybe even top 5 favorites of all time. And I just told you that he's my mom's favorite wrestler. My mom is 60 something years old.
Yeah.
And I seen little kids at show dressed up as little fiends. And it's like the range that he had to
I
connect
have a
with
mask.
everyone. Yeah, the range to connect with everyone of all ages. And I'm very glad that I not only that I have iCloud, but that when I did get it, I recorded it. I was in love with the Firefly entrance. And every time that I got it, I stood there and just like went on a circle recording what was around me. And I have it from AT&T Stadium, and I have it from Orlando, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I recorded it. I got it from a house show in MSG when he came out as champion.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, like you don't realize how much you really love this person until you're
For
taking
sure.
that trip down memory lane, and you see on your phone that every single time you had an opportunity, for me, every single time I had an opportunity to see him live, I recorded that entrance. Like every single time, I have like 30 Bray Wyatt entrances on my
Right.
phone, and I'm like, and again, not to sound selfish, but I'm like, every time I think like, damn, I'm never gonna get that again. But they did such a good job with the tributes.
Oh man.
And the one thing that he has is so many things to connect to his character. You have the shares, you had the lantern, you had the fireflies, and there's so many things that to pay. Like they did the lantern at the end of SmackDown, and then they did the share on Raw yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Also, House of Black coming out with the lantern at All In got me in my
Yeah.
feelings. Like,
FTR with the
yeah,
yeah. It was
yeah,
nice
it's
to see the wrestling world. Even Impact Wrestling, they did a 10 bell
yeah.
salute at the beginning of their pay-per-view this weekend in reference Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. I think NWA put out something. Like it was just such a nice embrace to see the whole community come together. I don't when was the last time we saw that? I can't
I
remember.
think maybe for Jay Briscoe, it felt like because they even acknowledged it. I remember when the Jay thing happened, I was actually
Yes,
live.
yes,
Um,
I like that.
oh my God,
Yeah.
what said when Seth came out and said Yowie Wowie, I got all teary eye again. Like,
I didn't even
um,
realize the side plate until later.
yeah, I saw it on social media. I didn't see it when he was out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Jay Briscoe thing was acknowledged by pretty much every company,
yeah.
but I don't know. This just feels different, and yeah.
I get it. But let's jump into some topics here. because I'm sure we could talk about Bray Wyatt all day long, because that's just the legacy he had, and there's just so much about him, about Wyndham, and about his career that will he honestly, it's, I know it's cliche to say, but he truly will, he'll live on forever. I think that he is etched in time forever. There's no
Yeah.
way, anytime the lights go out and for anybody's entrance and the fireflies come out with their phones, that will always be like a sign that he's there. Like, regardless if it's Seth's entrance or what we saw with Sting's entrance at AEW, that will always be a thing now. That's Bray Wyatt's thing. It's forever. Like
It
he
is.
said he was. But
Shout out to Ricky in the chat because he's absolutely right. I don't know why I keep getting caught with this bad news while I'm live. I was live, but Jay Briscoe happened on a Tuesday night on a normal like NXT stream.
yeah,
and I was doing and I'll never forget. I was live and somebody put it in the chat. When they put it in the chat, people, it hasn't been confirmed yet. People were saying it. I don't know if you remember when the Jay Briscoe thing happened, but people there were murmurous about it. But then Tony Khan tweeted it, and I remember somebody put in my chat like, "Why are people saying that just happened to Jay?" And I remember yelling at that person like, "Please don't speculate that kind of crap on my chat." And then I opened Twitter, and that's exactly when Tony Khan tweeted it. And for Bray Wyatt, I was the guy was literally going off the air. Somebody sent me the screen recording, and you see me look down at my phone, and I got a text, and like my face, I lost all color on my face because he sent me the screenshot, and I'm automatically the screenshot of Triple H tweet, and that's where were you? I thought it was a hoax, and I was like, don't send me this kind of. So I didn't say that because the person that sends it to me is also somebody that I really trust. So I was like, I'll go to Twitter and I'll open Triple H's tweet, Twitter on my own. And that's how I found out. And he's going off the air in my face. And it was a fun show. Like, we were having a good time, but my face as we go off the air is like me pale going.
Did you see the clip of Booker T finding out live on the air?
Yeah.
Just sad stuff.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into some topics. Let's line up the mood.
Let's do this. Let's do it. The first one for today is kind of a follow-up of what we talked about in previous weeks. Hold on here. I'm just writing it down. It's the lady on the airplane. Tiffany.
Tiffany. If that's even her real name.
If that is your real name. She's back at the airport. She's antsy, and people are asking her, what did you actually see on the plane? I didn't. She
doesn't remember. She was drunk.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember exactly what she said that she saw, if she even said that. But this lady forever will never be able to fly again and not be badgered by people.
Wait, you think people like, you know what? Maybe I have issues because I never pay attention to. I don't want to sound that way because I'm not that way. I pay attention to my surroundings, like for danger, right? But like for people around me, bro, like there's so many famous people that could walk by me and I wouldn't even notice it. Like, do you really think that people are gonna? Yeah, you really think maybe it's a New York thing, right? But do you really think that people are gonna be like? And if I'm at the airport and you stop me and be like, "Oh my God, there's that lady," I'll be like, "Why are you stopping me for this?" You know what I mean? Like,
people recognized her this time around, and they were like,
I saw somebody like walk up to her and took a video asking her, "What did you see?"
Yeah,
she did. You never got like. Airport drunk is the worst kind of drunk because the majority of the time you're getting drunk because you're delayed. I don't like to drink. I don't like to drink at the airport. I'll start with that. I don't like to drink at the airport. I don't like to drink when I'm traveling. When I'm at my final destination and I checked in and I'm all settled in, Joey knows. I'll call you and be like, let's go to Mo's Spaghetti and drinking, right? But I'm already in. I never understood. This is exactly why I never understood why people make that choice to just sit at an airport and get wasted. Where it's like you're about to get on a plane, you don't know where you're going. I'm very anal about situations that you can't control.
You're cautious.
Because why would you do that? Like, it just sounds like such a bad idea. And like,
to the point where you're thinking you're seeing things.
Yeah, and also like, don't you gotta get up to go pee like a million times when you drink? Why would you want to do that on an airplane bathroom? You know what I mean? Like, I don't
I
even
get it.
eat before I fight. I'm not using that nasty little bathroom like that. Ew, I don't even fit in there in my high heels. Let's keep it real.
Clip it. No, she I don't I don't even know, like, they say she was drunk, but I don't believe it. I think she was on drugs. You don't
And
get
a lot of
you
people
don't
say
hallucinate when you're drinking, do you?
it depends on what you're drinking,
She
Joey.
was hallucinating. She was like, "You're not real. He's not real." Like, who? What?
But she
What are you?
wasn't hallucinating. She wasn't, I guess, hallucinating. Isn't the definition of hallucinating seeing something that's not there? They
Yeah,
were there. So he went. I don't know
I don't
because
know.
I don't know. You know what? Do you get worried about some, what is it, like the government, like the Men in Black deleting her memory? Because didn't we just found out that aliens are real? Which, by the way, nobody did anything about it. Like, somebody literally came out and confessed aliens are a thing, and we all just kept going with our lives. Like, yeah, we know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like, do you not worried about it? What did she really did? Okay, like, maybe it's because I love a good conspiracy theory, but what if she did see something that she should have not seen, and the government just, like, what took her so long to come clean? Where was she this whole time? Like, is she really who she said she is?
yeah.
I'm done. I don't trust this Tiffany lady.
No. And if you look at her
No,
in the article, she looks different than what she looked like on the plane.
of course, beer
Yeah,
goggles.
yeah. But I don't know. I'm not no, I don't get it. I don't get it. But
Well, she's back on a plane.
yeah, she's back on a plane. Let me ask you, if that happened to you, right? How long would it take you to go back on a plane?
First of all, that wouldn't happen to me because I'm a smart individual, Joey. But I mean, it depends, right? It depends on what people do for a living. Right now, I live on an island, so to go see my friends that are on the mainland, I cannot need a plane.
Yeah. You're
Or
in
to go to
paradise right now.
work.
You don't need anything.
Right,
Why would
right.
you
But
leave?
at the same time, it's like, if I'm like score enough that I don't want to get on a plane, it would also be very easy for me to say, Joey, you come see me, because who's gonna say no to where I live? Nobody,
Yeah.
you know.
You
So
want to come see like dirty streets and rats, or you want to come see palm trees and beautiful water?
right. But I mean, it depends. A lot of times we do need to get on these planes, right? Like, and that's just a part of everyday life. I don't know, shoots in the States, you can kind of drive everywhere too if you really were that scared, which is why, again, I feel like they erase her memory. I think they Men in Black her ass.
Yeah. I think that they paid her some good money just to keep quiet for whatever she saw.
Damn, me faking a break. I'm gonna fake a freak out on the next flight now just to see if I get some bank from it.
Yeah. She saw like a hologram of something from the government, and she's like, "You're not real," and no one knows what she's talking about. And the government pulled her aside and like, "Listen, we'll give you some money. Just say you were drunk and whatever."
I heard the description of what the men, like what the real Men in Black look like. I said I saw one in the plane. They have like no eyebrows. I read. I need
Yeah.
to stop watching this. I go on late night YouTube rabbit hole sometimes, you know?
I get it. I get it. But there is a topic that I do want to talk about here that really I find to be interesting because I saw the TikTok about it, and then I saw the article after, and I was like, oh, I actually know what this article and what the situation is because I saw the TikTok. I don't know if you're familiar with what happened, but this Adele fan that
Yeah.
has gone viral.
I saw the
Um,
TikTok too.
it says Adele Vegas fan, sorry, not sorry for standing. You could have too.
Right.
So
It's a concert. Why were they all sitting there like it's a freaking movie theater?
yeah, I like this topic because it's a good debate topic. I've never been to an Adele concert. I don't know what the vibe is of an Adele
I
concert,
could never.
but I don't sit at concerts.
No, but did you
Just
see
sitting,
the
it
whole?
kind of makes it seem like you're not enjoying the music.
Yeah, but you
Right?
see that? Yeah, the whole vibe is just people are sitting there like they're at an opera house. That's what it
Yeah,
feels like you're watching the ballet. That's what the vibes that it was giving
yeah.
me.
And this guy was standing and enjoying himself. and
He was so cute. He
he
was so
wasn't
cute.
being like rowdy or a nuisance. He was standing, just doing his thing, and security kept
He
coming
was
up to him.
excited.
Yeah,
You could tell he was an Adele hardcore fan.
security kept coming up to him to tell him to sit down. Other fans from behind was like, "You're standing," complaining to him, like ruining his experience. And Adele and eventually said, like, "I've seen you guys the entire night basically badgering this guy. Why don't he paid money to be here. Let him enjoy himself. He's not he's not like bothering hitting people. Like, let him. You should be doing what he's doing at the concert." She wants our fans to enjoy themselves. So my question to you is, which person are you? Are you the one standing or are you the one sitting behind?
I'm the one watching the TikTok because I wouldn't go to an Adele concert.
Me
But
I'd be with you. We'd be like, what is this? What are we watching here?
but if I'm at a concert, I'm there to have fun. And I get that Adele's music is a little more let's go to sleep kind of thing. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. She has a beautiful voice. I think I have one of them.
Come on, guys. We're going to sleep. We're going to listen to Adele.
Yeah. So here's one thing that I will say.
Yeah.
If you watch the TikTok, I told you the vibes were like, I would have been like, you want to bounce. Like
old people like in a ballet, you said.
But when the security approaches him, it looks like there's like a walkway right next to him.
Yeah.
So there is one thing that I will say is if I want to have my own fun and I'm in my own little world, I will stand to the side.
Yes.
So that way I'm standing in the walkway and maybe people that are walking by need to tell me to move, but I'm not blocking people's views.
Agreed.
Because, for example, like if I was to take my mom to an event right now, she can't be getting up and sitting down, right? So it would kind of piss me off if somebody's blocking her view. So you also have to be a little bit considerate of what's going on around you because not everybody's my mom, and my mom would also never go to an Adele concert.
I agree 100%.
Anyways, but regardless, I paid the money. Those look like very good seats. I mean, Adele saw him. That's how close he was sitting to the stage. So, this is top tier. Yeah, this is top tier tickets. He paid top tier money. And I feel like everybody enjoyed these experiences one way or another. And it's like, if you put me in a Bad Bunny concert, that's how I'm going to act. There's videos. I will never release them. There's videos of me at a Bad Bunny concert. Trust me, that kid was behaving compared to how some of us act at concerts. So I'm on the kid's side, and I'm glad that she called it out. We see a lot of weird
her on stage.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things going on lately in concerts. Like every time that we talked about it, it seems to be somebody throwing something at someone, like or what was that weird lady? I can't even remember her name. The irrelevant lady that yelled at the fans for taking the picture. Yeah. Like, so I'm glad that we're reporting somebody like just standing up for her fan, and she kept telling security, leave him alone, he's here to have fun. Everybody's gonna enjoy the experience differently, and we don't know what people went through. We don't know how hard he had to work to get these tickets. We don't know anything. We don't know what we were just talking about the connection that you might have to a celebrity or to somebody famous. Like, we don't know any of that. I don't think it was bothering anyone. The only thing that I will say is that it looked like there was space for him to stand a little more to the side so he wouldn't be blocking anybody's distance. But outside of that, I don't think he's in the wrong. I think security was in the wrong. It seemed like if you watch the video, they were like on him, like annoyingly.
Like he was doing something bad. I've been to concerts before where, I'm not going to lie, it's a concert where I'm bopping, I'm hanging out, and someone in front of me is just like, their hands are up and they're loud and they're rowdy. And I'm just like, chill the hell out. Like, I'm not going to say it, but I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm trying to watch this and you're doing the choreography in front of me. Like you're
doing the most. You're me at an NSYNC concert. If NSYNC reunites, I know all the dance movement. I'm ready to go. Okay.
It was just like too much. And sometimes you have to think like, they're paying for the experience too. So like, it is what it is. I'm being Grandpa Joe, just like, why are you bothering my space? Get out of my like. But sometimes I'm just like, dude, like look at you.
I'm changing your name on my phone to Grandpa Joe.
Get off my lawn! Like, get out of my space! Like,
what really grind my gears? Them kids that get off at the concert.
Like, why are you doing the choreography? Like, This is the first time they're doing the concert. How do you know the choreography? Are you like a part? I don't understand. Like, are you a plant? Because if you're a plant, then I should be getting a discount on my tickets.
Oh my god! I just
No.
think everybody has that one artist that, and again, you don't know. What if
Yeah.
this kid never had an opportunity to see his favorite live before? There's so many
The thing.
factors that could be, but yeah, you also have to think of the factors of the people sitting behind you and all that. But
Yeah.
I will say, when I'm watching the TikTok, I was like, man, the vibes in that concert just look boring. So
Yeah.
sorry, the one person is actually having fun. Yeah, it felt very Broadway. Not even. I've been to Broadway plays and they're a lot more lively than the way that looked.
I don't know. Every time I've seen an Adele show like on TikTok, it looks like I'm watching an award show. Like everyone's like dressed up like in ball gowns and tuxedos, and they're all just like.
I've been loving, like, as much as I don't, like, you guys know, like I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fans, but like between her and Beyonce and the fans like really going all out in what they're wearing, and they're there to have fun, and like I have been enjoying like watching people like, oh, my Eras Tour fit or like my Beyonce fit, because people are just there to have fun. You don't get that vibe from an Adele concert, and it's just like, I don't know, I just wouldn't pay that much money. It feels like therapy. It feels like you're going to therapy.
Yeah. I love this comment. Rolling in the deep gets my hips moving.
Oh yeah, baby.
I love it, baby.
We could have had it all, baby eyes.
Never mind. She'll find someone new, you know. But there's, you know what I like about, you mentioned Taylor Swift, the Swifties, right? That's the group name.
Please don't say that again out loud.
That's what they call themselves.
Are you a Swiftie, Joey?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm a Swifter right out of the way with the broom. That was a bad joke. They do some crazy things. Like they like give each other stuff. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, they have some kind of friendship bracelet.
Yeah, it's like a worshiping type. No, I'm kidding. It's a you know Dave Portnoy, owner of Barstool. He's a big Taylor Swift fan, and
oh god,
he like
follows immediately.
He is loud and proud about it. Like he talks about it publicly, like if he's like a 12-year-old girl. It's crazy. It's actually comical. And he made like a
comical or concerning.
Yes, what you said. He made a jacket and went to the concert at MetLife, and he passed the jacket down to different members of the Taylor Swift gang, Swifties, whatever they are. And this jacket has been to like 20 states. Like it's because they pass it from each other. And he's making like a series on TikTok, like following the jacket.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
Would you be a part of that if wrestling fans did something like that?
Yeah.
Like some sort of like embracing each other, passing it along.
I'm not hugging nobody.
No.
Okay.
I'm not touching. Stay 5 feet away.
Bro, the way I jumped was like, wait, you said embracing disregard. I'm not in. No, but I love that idea. I actually really, really love that idea.
Wrestling fans should start doing things like that. Like pass along something and just like see where it goes. Like bring a lantern to a show and just pass it to somebody who you think needs some light in their life and just keep passing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a break. Yeah. I think that'd be cool. Something like that. But
yeah, or a John Cena headband.
Done a headband.
Man, every time I think about the John Cena headband, I'm sorry, all I can think about is that era of AJ Styles, the face that runs the place where he like put the headband across his. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, beat up John Cena.
Oh my god, that was the best era. Hey, he is on SmackDown. Cena needs some money apparently, so we could get it again.
You know what? I'm gonna give John Cena credit here because there's a writer's strike and production is on hold, and he
needs money, and now he wants to come back to us now that he has nothing else to do. He waited until he was like, wow, the agenda is fully empty. Let me go back to these marks and take their money again. Because everybody's buying the shirt now.
Dwayne is not here.
guess what? He's not trying to get more money. He already has enough.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him credit for nothing.
You don't like John?
No, I mean, I think he's a great person and human being, and I know my nephew grew up idolizing him, and my nephew has turned out to be quite a great young man at this point. So he had a great idol,
Hey,
but that is
I
not for
idolized
me.
John Cena when I was little. I used to wear the jorts. I used to
Oh my god, my
do the
nephew used
whole
to
thing.
cosplay him. My nephew would go fully dressed as John Cena to places, and I was like, "Why are you with me?" When he got me back into wrestling, like that's what he wanted me to like watch. I'll never forget because he was still like 14, I think, and he was like, we would watch, right? And I watched the pay-per-views and I would tell him who I liked. And he's like, no, 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 that's not who you're supposed to like. When I first like fell in love with Seth Rollins and the Shield, he was like, no, 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 like those are no who you're supposed to like. When we watched the Real Rumble together, we finished watching 2015. We finished watching that triple threat, and I was like rooting for Brock and then rooting for Seth, but never for Cena. He's like, and then when we went to WrestleMania in Orlando, I had the picture. He's wearing the Seth Rollins hat, and I was like, man, I'm a good influence. I'm trying to get him out of that. But John Cena would always be his favorite. I actually
Yeah,
did the book thing where he was sending like the personalized video
yeah.
messages. Like I did that just
I
so
did that too.
Cena. I did it and he was on deployment. So
Oh wow.
Cena sending the video and I, posted it for him. And like his comment was like, why do I feel like I'm a 5-year-old right now? And I love that. I love that. So
Yeah.
I think as a human being, he's great, but as a wrestler, not in my top 10. Sorry, not sorry. My top 10. My
Yeah.
top. Like, keep that in mind. If you tell me to make who are the greatest, like, that's not my opinion, just based on numbers and what we know, of course I will put him there.
Sure.
But my personal, no, he's not there.
No, I get it. I get that. That makes sense. He he's probably in my top 10 just because of the era that I grew up. Like my biggest time as a wrestling fan was probably 2005 to 2009. Those are like my teenage years, like before I started driving. So that was everything was John Cena. So that was like,
Look,
hustle.
if it wasn't because of John Cena, I wouldn't be creating wrestling content. Because I
Yeah,
remember when I first moved to New York, I told my nephew, hey, as soon as I'm settled in, I'm going to take you to a show because obviously they never went to Puerto Rico. And
yeah,
then he moved from Puerto Rico to Charlotte, which they barely ever go to Charlotte.
yeah,
And obviously, based on what we know about wrestling crowds, because I wasn't attending wrestling shows at that time,
yeah,
I was like, I'll take you to a show. And then I took him to a show at Barclays. It was the first taped episode of Raw in Barclays ever. That's
yeah.
when I took him. And I'll never forget because I wasn't watching wrestling. By the way, this actually really does exist. He gave me one of his wrestling teachers. So my first show, I'm all decked out in John Cena gear. Fun fact, because I didn't have anything to wear. So he's like, oh, wear this. So yeah, like, and I fell in love with wrestling that night. The atmosphere and the energy in the building. I was like, my God, I love this. I could just go to a show forever. And that's how I like really got back into it. So yeah, that is actually quite accurate, Jared. Thank you.
I was gonna say Jared knows he's his top 10. Number 10, Roman Reigns. Number 9, Roman Reigns.
Come
I
on.
love it. I love it. This next topic, I think, is probably my favorite of the whole show.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we lost Bob Barker this week. Another, we saw 3 tributes on Raw this week. Like, I don't think we've ever seen that many in one show. Like, they say death comes in threes.
Comes in threes.
And this is the cards we've been dealt. But Bob Barker passes away at 99 years old, and it says he watched 2.5 Men in his final days, and the bulk of his estate is to be donated to 40 plus nonprofits. And I don't know if you had a chance to read the article at all as to where he donated these to, but I thought that you would really, really love it. Let me read you a lot of the article here. Said that he spent quite a bit of time checking out the Tube in his last days of life, YouTube. He watched reruns of 2.5 Men, and he really had a good sense of humor along his last his last days, and he said that they said that Bob's estate, in the wake of his passing, we're told the majority of it will be divided up and donated to a number of causes that he was passionate about, especially as it pertains to animals and vets.
Yes, King.
His assets will be dispersed among 40 different animal rights organizations and military nonprofits, including the Donkeyland Rescue in Riverside, California, Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. There's a bird conservatory that we go into. So,
That makes me the happiest.
United Activists for Animal Rights Charity. Just overall, all going to animals. And I thought that was such a good topic to talk about today. And because we're animal people, and screw people. Animals are better.
Agreed. 1000% agree. That makes me the happiest. He seemed like that kind of guy,
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, that excites me. I think that a lot of times, I don't know, sometimes like the animal charities just get forgotten about, and I wish that more people would just do something for them. So that makes me very happy. That warms my heart.
Yeah, I thought that in the wake of bad news, that'd be a positive point. But I don't know how much money he has or what his worth was, or it didn't say anything like that. But dispersed among 40 different, I don't even know if he had kids or not. I don't even know. It says he had a girlfriend. But I mean, man, what a way to go out. You are one of the most iconic game show hosts of all time.
According to Google, his net worth was around $70 million.
Wow. Good for him. Lived a full life till 99 years old. Got to be a part of WWE. Got to he did everything.
Yeah, he did.
He did everything. And
he did.
He went out like a champ, and
all these animal babies are gonna be happy.
Yep. So it looks like they're all going to good causes. But let's dive into what I like to call the main event of our show.
Yes.
I don't even know how to I titled the show today, Kanye West Lets It All Hang Out. Did you see the article?
Yeah, I have it pulled up right now. Kanye's whole ass was hanging out, basically. I'll say it.
Holy Jesus. It says, Yeezy, can't you feel the breezy? That's the title of the article.
Did you see the picture of them in the boat? Because doesn't it give you... Don't you think that something was going down? And maybe that's why the pants were pulled down. I'm just saying.
Did you see the picture of the boat next to him with their phones out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody taking a picture of Kanye's freaking crack.
I got no words.
I mean, I miss the old Kanye.
The cover it up Kanye. Oh man.
Oh my god. I thought it was
it wasn't even like the plumber crack. The stereotype of plumbers.
I know why he did it.
It was his whole ass. Everything was out.
I know why he did it,
Joey. On purpose.
I know why he did it. People in Italy were complaining about his wife wearing these nude outfits that they didn't like. Kanye was like, I'll show you what sensory should really look like so that you guys leave my wife alone about her outfits.
Listen, I know Kanye is all for setting fashion trends, but nudity and no underwear or anything is not the way.
What if they were getting it on in the boat?
There is a man standing right next to him on the phone, as if
somebody's gotta tape it.
I don't think that's what it was. Honestly, his pants were probably sagging.
I like my theory.
He bent down and just, man, that's a whole lot of ass to have out and not realize that your ass is out.
It had to be breezy over there, right? Right?
I mean, you're on the water in Italy. It looks like it could be a little. I don't know. Everyone's in t-shirts. It's not chilly.
No, because he's wearing like all of these clothes, so I would assume that you felt the difference. Like if you're like wearing a short, tiny skirt and a tank top to where you're like almost naked, right? Like I'll give you an example, like a girl's summer clothes to go to the beach. I don't
Yeah.
think you feel the difference, but he's fully dressed, so I would assume that it feels breezy on your behind. You're gonna realize that something is going on because he's got like a coat.
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer this. I prefer him to be in the news for this than the other stuff.
For sure.
At least he's not talking, like
I am with you on that. That's a good take. I'm with you on that because it's true.
But man, like there were just some things I didn't have to see on the internet. This is one of them.
Maybe he was wearing his wife's see-through pants, like Baby I said. That's what she was wearing last week. Remember, like you could kind of see through them, and the neighbors were mad about it. Maybe he was wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
Nah, that ass was out.
Maybe you're right, because it says here in the article, we've seen an awful lot of Kanye West's wife, Bianca Censori, during their Italian trip, thanks to her rather revealing outfits. But now Kanye is the one showing serious skin.
Told you. Things got cheeky.
Ye and Censori continued their tour of the country Monday, this time making a stop in Venice. The two hopped on a water taxi, and that's when things got cheeky, as Kanye's entire backside was exposed as he tried to sit near the back of the vessel. I feel like I'm reading a children's book.
Same. I was gonna say, like, how do you explain writing this article to, like, what do you do for a living? But then I remember we covered wrestling, and we probably written worse things than this.
Well, listen, it could always be like, wrestlers choking each other out for saying things about nonsense on TV. It could be like anything is possible.
Man, you're really mad at CM Punk, aren't you? I can sense
CM Punk, absolutely.
I can sense the tension. You know what's sad? I kind of popped when Jungle Boy did what he did on the pre-show.
I loved it.
I thought it was like a rig. Like I didn't think it was gonna turn into this. When he looked at the camera, he was like real glass. I was like,
River.
I was like, yo, Jungle Boy got some balls on him. I didn't realize.
Jungle Man. We talking about Jungle Man.
I was like, I didn't realize he was that ballsy. And then, like, come to find out, apparently that pissed somebody off backstage. But I personally,
don't like it here. I don't like it.
Who says that? Like, I say I hate it here all the time. And when I read that, I was like, I'm never gonna say I hate it here ever again, because I didn't realize how crybaby you sound.
He said this guy walks around claiming he's the real world's champion. Meanwhile, the real world's champion main evented the pay-per-view. He opened.
But you know what's sad? Like, I don't understand. And maybe Tony.
He did that in WWE too. He held.
No, I get. Replica. Yeah. And maybe Tony Khan has too much money invested, or maybe Tony Khan is too big of a fan. But like, drama aside, let's say the drama never happened. Nobody is talking about CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, which sucks for Samoa Joe, but that match was blah compared to everything else we saw in the pay-per-view. Like, when I'm thinking about, if you tell me like all in thoughts, like, I will go immediately into a lot of other things before I remember.
Young Bucks is my first thought
is Saraya's entrance. I don't care what anybody wants. When she came out with the family, I was like, that's beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah, I
8-minute match though. Are you kidding me?
The Stadium Stampede.
Like 5 hours.
Stadium Stampede I thought was a lot of fun. FTR and the Young Bucks. Like, there's so many other things that I would name before I go, oh yeah, CM Punk and Samoa Joe were in the pay-per-view too. You know what I mean? And I hated that match because Samoa Joe kind of dominated the entire time, and then he just, like, on the first try, he just didn't kick out. Yeah, I don't think the match made any sense. But the whole point I'm trying to make is that he wasn't needed. The pay-per-view has sold like 40,000 tickets as soon as it was announced. Without CM Punk wasn't back yet, right? No. We didn't know the card. So do you really need him? You don't. Like, the fact that you just had your biggest night and the first thing you had to say at the press conference is like, yeah, I just want to make sure that you know that an altercation happened and I can talk about it. He's like, bro, you've been there, done this. But I also feel like maybe they're a little over him. This news that he's
He took
obviously
a
leaking.
train.
I don't care what anybody has to say. He's obviously leaking this news at this point because there's so many exact details that it's like, how is Nick Houseman gonna find out that a text bounced back on his phone if he's not him telling? You know, I'm just saying. Anyways, yeah, like it's like they didn't even greet him, like they didn't even. And then it was like, "Oh, cry me a fucking river."
But
You
I'm
had
a
to
real
find
world
it.
champ.
Like, why did you take the train? Did you not have money for an Uber? Aren't you a million? You're making millions. You're making millions. You can't call up. Like, there's ways to. You don't have to take the tube. I get that it's expensive or maybe it's a long distance, but it's like you have the money. I have
Yeah.
a friend who has a lot of money. Shout out to her, and I'll never forget that she took a freaking Uber from Boston to New York City. It costed her a shit ton, but she was like, "I'm not taking the train." She
Just
found
like
an Uber that was
better
willing to do
though.
it, and he made a lot of money.
Him showing he's struggling gives a better story. It makes him look like a
Whatever.
victim.
And then there's a fan. There's a fan picture of this guy in the train with CM Punk. It's so fucking funny.
Oh man, you know what? Like, I look at it like now with all this drama. Like, I don't know if this was the case back in his time with WWE. I don't know if this is how he was there. But if you look back to WWE, you know, he took the reference "best in the world." That was Chris Jericho was using that before
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
He came in and took that phrase. Now he's calling himself the real world's champion, which is what Nick Aldis has been calling himself for like 10 years now with the
Yeah, but
NWA.
he's the real because he has that belt with the X on it, Joey. I think he's just a Twitter champ.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joseph. So he took the train and he got lost. Yeah, like how do you get lost? Like, you know how Google? What kind of is he using a flip phone? Because you can literally put things on Google Map that will give you
He's like with his
step by
phone like
step
this, like
direction.
left, right. Which
You're from a city. You're
does
from
anybody have a compass?
Chicago. Like, I get you're outside of the country, but I feel like once you lived in a city, you
Yeah.
can find your way around any city. Maybe it's because we're from New York, and once you can figure out your way in New York, like you can't take me anywhere where I'll get lost. Trust me, I will figure out my way somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Listen, I don't even know how we ended up talking about We went from Kanye's ass to CM Punk. I mean, both from Chicago, both like to make an ass out of themselves. So I guess it makes sense how we ended up here.
Some people just don't. They just don't keep
Maybe
quiet.
the Chicago thing.
What's in the water there?
Poop. Don't you remember when you two like dropped their poop into the river? And that was a whole mess.
You know, all jokes aside, like I was always a fan of CM Punk, and to a point, I still am because like he is a good wrestler. Like I do enjoy his in-ring work, but I feel like
as in present time, you think what he's done in AEW is good in the ring?
No.
Okay, good.
I haven't. I think
sure.
it's just wrestling. It's not good wrestling.
Right.
And there's a difference.
He was.
You know, I think that it may sound like harsh, but I think that his entrance is more over than him at this point. People missed the theme song and they're like, oh yeah, he comes with it. Like it wasn't, I don't know. There's some things that there's some sort of lack of leadership somewhere.
Right.
And I got chewed out on Twitter for saying that yesterday.
For saying what?
Well, I said that obviously there's a problem with CM Punk, even though he may not be at fault for this one. Maybe it is Jungle Boy, but he's always in a situation. And there's like a pattern here with CM Punk getting into altercations at a show. And
it's a straight edge life, man. He needs to do some drugs or some alcohol or something. It'll help.
I just think that someone is scared to put him in line. And they're threatened by the idea of him walking out or the idea of him not showing up. And I don't know. Like he's more of a liability now than he is an asset. And I think that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that instead of the show, instead of how successful it was, instead of what it means for wrestling. It's either that or the freaking number, and it's like, who cares? Like they might have inflated the number of people that were there. WWE has been doing it for like the last 30 years. That's what wrestling companies do. The sold, whether these people showed up or not, the sold amount of tickets is the sold amount of tickets. A lot of times it goes to scalpers that can't get them resold. You know what I mean? I will say you did notice red shares in every angle. You did see them. But I still think there was a solid 60, 70,000 people there.
Listen, for an alternative to WWE, they put on a massive show. Like, what other Impact can't do it, NWA can't do it, all the other companies,
all of us. And I don't care who wants to say no, I never said that. You didn't say it, but you thought it. None of us thought they would sell over. I thought they were going to have half of the stadium tarped out, like I did. I did when they originally announced it, and the fact that the stadium looked that way. But I just like I just noticed that a lot of what's coming out of it is just negativity, and it's just like it bothers me a little bit. You know, it's like I'm not gonna focus on the fact that you could see red shares here or there when they did the landscape. I'm not blind either. I watched the pay-per-view. I saw the red shares in every angle. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't a powerful visual for a company that's 4 years old.
Yeah. I wrote out a tweet yesterday, and I was scared to put it out because I don't know how people would take it. And I'll tell you here, because we're here. It was something along the lines of like, there's two different types of wrestling fans. There's a wrestling fan who's consumed by the CM Punk stuff, or there's a wrestling fan who is more involved about the wrestling and mourning the losses of like Bray Wyatt and like really focusing on the things that matter. There's two different roads you could take. And the people that are focusing on the CM Punk nonsense and that drama, maybe
there's wrestling fans that will sarcastically post a picture of Finn Balor in the subway and say something smart about it.
Yeah. There's all you can listen. We can have fun with it, like we are now.
I am having fun with it. That's why I posted that. I was like, it's a shame nobody from WWE was there for Finn. Like I was just thinking, and a couple of people got the reference. Other people were like, "That's thing on the." I actually really had a real life moment with Jake Gyllenhaal at the Herald Square station when we were just bitching about the train being late. And I'm like, what, do famous people not ride the train on London? Because I've seen a lot of celebrities on the subway in New York. You see them all the time. When I used to work in the city, you don't even talk to them. You know what I mean? Like Bradley Cooper was known to take the train. Oh, what's his name? Hugh Jackman. Oh my God. I'll never forget what I told my nephews. When I first moved to New York, I told my nephew, oh my God, I just saw Wolverine on Subway. And he was like, well, what kind of sandwich was he having? And I was like, no, bro, the Subway, the train, not like Subway, the restaurant. That's like, what kind of sandwich did he order? Oh my God, I'll never forget that. But it's like, who cares if you had to take the train? Big effing deal. Stop crying.
I don't know if you saw the pictures, but Justin Bieber was on City Bike yesterday in New York City.
Oh my God. I saw the picture of like, and that's actually goes with our show, of him and his wife going to Krispy Kreme, and she was like all dressed up.
And he's like
and everybody's like, oh, I would like leave him if he like, and I'm like, okay, but also why is she dressed like that to go to Krispy Kreme? You know, I was like, they're both wrong.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Anyways, that's another story.
Yeah, I saw pictures of him like with a hoodie, with the hood on, with a hat over the hood, riding the city bikes. I'm like, dude, just living his life. Let him be.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's like married to Haley.
He was crying about nobody being there to like, whatever. I just don't understand how that's even news.
No,
I feel like I don't everything, and now it's like the last one I saw before we went on air was that CM Punk camp is reporting that they don't know anything about a suspension. CM Punk camp, what? Larry, is that your camp? Like the dog sent Fightful Select an email, like stop. And then like it was also reported that Jungle Boy was scheduled to take time off. So are these suspensions even a real thing? I don't know.
I think someone's just making it look good.
There's
an investigation. What do you have to investigate? They were obviously witnesses.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Steve Fall has been on point with his tweets. Like his I don't know if you saw his CM Punk content as of late,
No.
but
God.
it's like CM Punk walks into a restaurant and eats, and it's been funny. Everyone's making light of it, but I saw Steve Falls and kudos to him because that's some funny stuff.
Oh my God. Now you're gonna have me scrolling through his. Oh, I see it. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we ended up talking about that.
I have no idea. We were talking about Kanye West and Crybabies, and then CM Punk. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
We went there, but yeah.
Listen, we love
He took the
wrestling.
train. What a big deal! Like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah, we're just making fun of the drama. That's all it is.
I'm waiting for it to make TMC because Brawl Out made TMC.
Do you think it's as
I always get proud when some of our drama makes it to TMC. Right now, the only wrestling thing you can find on TMC is obviously the Bray Wyatt stuff. Yeah. They haven't posted anything about All In, or there's barely anything about AEW on TMC. Actually, they cover mostly WWE. Well, we did have that interview with the Miz last week when they ran into him, but yeah, I'm like,
kudos to the Miz for last night.
Look at the chat.
Yeah.
Diva being nice and buying me a birthday gift is going to make TMC. Please stop exposing me as a ninth person, Sean Ross Sapp. I did buy him a birthday gift. Happy early birthday, bud.
When's his birthday?
Tomorrow.
What the hell? See, I don't know these things.
He always be exposing me as a nice person. I try to keep this like heel persona, and then he comes and tells everybody the nice things I do. Stop that shit.
Babe.
She knows all my thank you messages. You texted me? Hold on. I'm so bad at the texting thing.
Oh man. I think I texted you. When did I last text you? I texted you something. I think I did.
Did you? Shit, I had Do Not Disturb on. Hold on.
It does tell me that too. It says like.
Oh, you did. You did yesterday at 3:48. I just now saw it.
I don't know what I texted you.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the air.
It says it was delivered quietly. I was like, what does that mean?
It means you'll never see
it. That's funny. Oh man.
My God.
What were we talking about?
I don't know, but we covered all of the topics. I watched
I like how you already know what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I watched The Ultimatum on Netflix. There's a new season. That show is garbage. It's pure garbage, and I love it. Yeah, it's about couples, Joey, that one of them is getting ready to get married and the other one isn't, right? So they give the person an ultimatum. And what they do is they bring these couples into this experiment. They break them up. They start dating each other. They find a trial marriage with somebody else for 3 weeks. And then they have to go back to the person they came with for 3 weeks. And at the end, they got to pick. Do you want to leave with the person you met? You want to propose? Or you want to leave alone?
What?
How toxic is that? How freaking toxic is that?
That's
I know.
Imagine like going home after and you're like, so what do you want to talk about?
Oh, okay, Cody Rhodes. Anyway. And my favorite thing is like when they start, like when they break up.
Yeah.
To start meeting the other people, they have the dates like in the same place. So it's like you and I could be talking while we watch our exes over there connect. Like I'm like, this is like the definition of toxicity. But yeah, so I watched that because I was sick yesterday and couldn't move and needed something to binge watch. And you know I'm a sucker for really crappy reality TV. It's what I live for. So shout out to Netflix for always making the worst love shows.
Listen, there's a lot of crappy reality TV on, you know. It is what it is.
Maybe I can try. It's like legalized cheating. Actually, I don't want to spoil it, but this season was a lot more tame than others. Like other seasons, like people like really take the trial marriages a little too seriously, and then they get into like it's weird because you see them saying, "Oh, I don't want you to hold back." You know, like when you go into, I want you to like enjoy the experience, and then they find out their partner like kissed the person that they like, you know, and then they get all mad, and it's like you need to make up. Like, don't take them into that if you can't handle this. It's a mess. It's a mess, and I watched it, and maybe that's why I didn't get any better. Maybe the TV choices that I made did not help how
it's
I was.
A bad influence.
I was like, I think I ended up throwing up more after watching a few episodes.
You know what I watched? I went down the rabbit hole on. I couldn't find anything to watch.
Right.
You know, you have those nights where you're like, I want to watch something to go to sleep, and then you go on every single streaming platform that you or someone you know pays for,
I
and you
have
just scroll and
subscriptions to
scroll and
everything,
scroll,
and I
and
always
it
end
ends
up
up
on
taking the
YouTube.
place of a movie, and you're like, all right, I'll just go to
Yeah.
bed at this point.
Yeah, I pay
Pretty
for
much what I
everything,
do.
and I always end up on YouTube, which I do have YouTube Premium, but I pay for everything, and somehow I always end up on YouTube. It's because of in my new apartment right now. I only had the TV in the living room, and I was
Yeah.
feeling so crappy that I wanted to be in bed, and I was like, I don't feel like getting my iPad or so. All I had is my phone, and for some reason, I watch YouTube on my phone. I can't watch YouTube. Maybe it's because that's how it was created. I can't
Really?
watch YouTube on the TV. Yeah, I only watch it on my phone.
I only ever watch it on TV
Wow.
for my Apple TV.
So when you're watching me, I'm on your big screen.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Listen, I only watch you on the biggest of biggest screens. I can't. I want to see the most of you. You know.
Oh, thank you, Joey.
So I was streaming. I was looking through Paramount Plus because I was like, you know what? I don't give you as much attention. Let me look at you a little more than.
Oh, I've been all over it because of Big Brother and the challenge.
And I clicked on the MTV portion of Paramount Plus, and I scrolled down to the classic MTV, and I went down the rabbit hole of watching the show Punked. I used to love that show. I used to love Ashton Kutcher on that show.
JT was such a pussy.
I watched the episode with Triple H. There was an episode with Triple H, and it was just I didn't go to bed till like 3:30.
Justin Timberlake crying because he thought he was gonna lose everything. I will never forget that. Calling his mom.
Yep. There was one where it was Justin Bieber. The whole thing was Miley Cyrus was gonna punk Justin Bieber, but the whole idea was Justin was in on it, and they were gonna like punk Miley.
Yeah.
And seeing everybody so young, I was like, wow.
Did you know that you can watch all episodes of like the Next Bus too on the MTV section of it, like those really crappy shows we used to watch growing up?
Yeah, they have a lot. They have a pretty good amount on there.
Punk was actually supposed to be a Redman and Method Man show called Stung. They did a pilot on MTV and everything. It's still out there. Wow, I actually didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I'm gonna have to look it up. My favorite was Pimp My Ride.
Do you know why?
Why did Sivit always look like he didn't want anything to do with his people?
I love Pimp My Ride.
That was the best. That was the best.
You know why they stopped doing Punked, right? Or why Ashton Kutcher stopped doing Punked?
No, why?
Because every time that he would go around his friends, like they didn't know if they were getting punked or not. And he was getting like isolated in Hollywood. People were like scared to be around him because they thought they were going to be filmed and punked.
It's probably better off.
And it was starting to affect his career, like his acting career. And I don't know. They ended up doing more, like another season or so without him. But I think it was like guest hosts. He said they got Ludicrous to rap over a terrible beat that they made in a crappy keyboard.
Make frog ribbit. I can't even make that noise. Our frogs say "coqui." That's what our frogs sound like in Puerto Rico. They're the best. But yeah, I love Pimp My Ride. But like, the more that I go back and watch it, the more that I like. This made no sense. Like, why were they putting these ridiculous things on these cars? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's a new show now.
This show was not about making these kids' life better or their cars better. It was just about doing something completely crazy and outrageous. And then if you really if you fall down the rabbit hole, like a lot of times I would take off like half of the stuff that they put in.
Yeah.
or it wouldn't function, or like there's a YouTube video out there that has millions of views. Somebody that found one of the Pimp My Ride cars in like a junk jar and bought it and redid it again. Like, Pimp My Ride was an era, man.
I think we talked about this before, but one of the shows I never understood was Teen Mom 2, Teen Mom 25.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny? They're still on and they're still called Teen
They're
Mom.
all like 40 years old and they're Teen Mom.
Not 40. The kids are grown. Like now the kids
Mom has been on since I was a teen. You're not teens anymore. I'm getting gray. Like you're not interesting. Anymore.
They're not freaking interesting. No. Like that show was weird. I never liked it. I was like, why am I like no?
Or Catfish. Remember Catfish?
I love Catfish. Catfish would get so ratchet sometimes.
Yeah, man, they had a lot of good shows.
Have you ever gotten an email somebody using your pictures? Like not from Neve, obviously, but it's happened to me a couple of times where people are using my pictures to like catfish people.
I haven't.
There
Had
was
that
there was
experience
a
yet.
me in Puerto Rico Tinder like recently that wasn't really me. Which was
Really?
using my pictures, and then somebody that knows me just sent me the screenshots, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
that's not me.
yeah, like if you're gonna like catfish, like go find somebody that has like 2 Instagram followers. Like that's what I would do. Like, like if you're gonna be smart about it, like you gotta dig deep into Instagram, find somebody that has no followers. Like
Yeah, not someone who has your following.
I don't have that many on Instagram, but yeah.
No, you have enough where it'd be noticeable. Like it's not that's dumb on someone's part.
20 something thousand, yeah.
Yeah, just 20.
But I don't know.
Isa,
I
your
don't. I don't
thought.
look. I don't look at the
Accept it.
numbers. I never look at the numbers. If you start making it about the number, you lose your focus on what you really
Yeah.
want to do.
It honestly it affects your content. I've been
It
down
does.
that road. It
I was taking a course not too long ago about social media management and all that, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, when you want to like advertise your brand, you need to know your engagement and your total followers across all platforms." And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't want to know. Like that's how people start getting,
I don't know what I have specifically on each platform, but I know roughly like all together what the total number is. Cause that's what I use. Like when I email people for like interviews or whatever,
Right.
like, my total is this. Like I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I can't tell you.
platform.
I can't tell you which one like it's the most engaged or where I see that I get the most results when I post,
Yeah.
but like I don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to the numbers, but don't pay attention to the numbers. The only numbers I pay attention for is the one that has like a money symbol in front of them. Those are the only
green.
numbers you can pay
Only the
attention
green.
to. Yeah.
We don't like anything red, just the green.
But that's it. That's it for this week. I think we're done. You actually helped me feel better. I almost didn't even do the show, and I feel a little bit better. Well, we'll see when I go to get up if I don't freaking fall down. But as of right now, I feel better. Thank you, Joey, and thank you, Shad.
Thank you for helping me too today. We talked before the show, and we were
down.
We're down bad,
But then Sean Rosaf is in the chat. We're special today.
Look at us doing things. Was
this episode
43?
Episode 43. I don't know. We've been doing this for a while. We're besties now. Like, it's crazy. The friendship brought to you by Jimmy Van.
Friendship sponsored by Jimmy Van.
He picked us. We didn't even know each other before that. So
I know, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. We always talk about it. We clicked like the second we met. It was like instant.
Yep. Look
at us now.
It's beautiful.
I love this. Joey and Issa, the big stars of YouTube.
Yeah, move over, Mr. Beast.
We have to do one of those things where like we put our backs. Come on, do it, Issa. Put your back.
I don't want. Oh wait, it's the other way. This is so lame. We look like we go to Adele concerts. Stop that.
Oh man, no, we look like we go to Kanye concerts.
I have. I've gone to too many Kanye concerts, honestly. Yeah. The Jesus tour will forever be goated.
Yeah. Did you stand under the stage or like somewhere?
I did. I went to the Jesus tour in Barclays, MSG, and Prudential Center. Yeah, and I sat at different spots at all of them. But I never got that close. The one that I got the closest was at Prudential Center because New York's cheap. We know that.
Yeah.
And I got like front row of like the elevated, the 100s or whatever they're called. So, but it was like sideways, so I could see the mountain. Remember, I had that mountain in the middle of the stage. Yeah. Kanye can put on a show, man. Kanye can put on a show.
He certainly can, whether it's on stage or on TMZ.
Well, he's ass.
Yeezy was real and breezy. I won't get over that.
I don't want to hear it again.
Issa, thank you again for an amazing show. Another amazing show. 43 shows. Just keeps getting better and better and better. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I saw a lot of consistent names, and always the show doesn't work without the chat. It doesn't work without the engagement of you guys. So we appreciate your input and being a part of the show. Issa, I always love you. And I think that's it for today. Anything else?
Let's go. No, I'm ready to go.
I like Ricky says so. Time warp updates.
Wrap it up, kids.
Yeah. But no, again, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys episode 44. Look at us
Next
doing some big
week.
things. See you guys.
Bye.